There is a Bordeaux for every season. I am an unabashed Bordeaux lover, but for the fall season, I like Bordeauxs that are a little bit fuller in body, some that have some good tannins so they can go with foods like eggplant and mushroom. If you eat meat, red meat with peppercorn, roasted meats, those kinds of things. And those Cabernet Sauvignon dominant blends are the ones that are going to go really, really well with some of that heavier food for the late fall and early winter. And Chateau Martin is a perfect example of this. It is from Saint-Estephe. So this is a family-run estate. They've owned the estate since the 1960s. And Saint-Estephe is a strange commune. On the left bank of Bordeaux, there is the Médoc, and there are four very famous communes: Margaux, Saint-Julien, Pauillac, and Saint-Estephe. Saint-Estephe is the furthest west, or some people say north, but it's really the furthest west towards the Atlantic Ocean. And these wines benefit from cooling breezes, so a little bit slower, longer of a growing season, but also heavier soils. The soil combination is clay with a little bit less gravel and some fossilized limestone. Actually, when I was there, I saw limestone fossils, like little shell fossils in the vineyards. So it's a really interesting place. Some wines that can have great acidity, but they do have a lot of tannin in them. So oftentimes these wines are underrated because they take a little bit longer to open up and a little longer to really become fantastic. But this Chateau Martin is fantastic. Even though it has 60% Cabernet Sauvignon, it is really ready to go. 2018 was a fantastic vintage in Saint-Estephe, and this wine is a little bit softer than it might normally be as a result of that. It's a great cold weather wine. Let's take a look at it and then we will taste it together. You can be the judge of whether or not all the things I said it would pair with, it will actually pair with. Okay, so it's a nice darker color, because if it were a Merlot lead, like many of the wines in Bordeaux, you would have something that was a little bit lighter, but because there's a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon, you're gonna have something a little darker. Let's give it a swirl around and take a sniff. You smell some of that pencil shavings and graphite, dark earth. There's blackcurrant, some dark herbs. I get some cinnamon also from the oak cherry. There's a little bit of sort of just this outside, again, decaying leaf. I think my brain is going there because it's fall. Let's take a sip. So delicious. So cherry, blackcurrant, little bit of that outdoor dark earth, really great, but still fresh. There's good acidity, and the tannin is there. It's a little bit of astringent, which this is a perfect wine to show you the transformative power of a perfect pairing. With protein and fat, those tannins will bind. And then what you're gonna wind up getting is just this very smooth, velvety wine with all of these dark fruit, dark earth, herbs, pencil shaving flavors that are going to be outstanding. This is a spectacular wine. 2018, again, a great vintage in Saint-Estephe, and I think you're really gonna like this. For me, this is a wine to enjoy with food, so even if you just have a charcuterie board and you wanna have it with some meats and cheeses, it will benefit from that. Honestly, Comté, my favorite cheese, this went fabulously well. It transformed the wine, so give it a go. Have this wine with some food, and you'll see how it can transform also, but honestly, on its own, it's also spectacular.